Second by Donnie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. We had our May 18th, 2015 special council meeting minutes. If there isn't any additions or corrections, we need to have those approved.
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor by Stephanie
I'll second that motion.
and second by Donnie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. We have our agenda for this evening. Guy, do we have any additions to this or corrections?
We have one addition, Todd Hines.
Let's see. Why don't we throw Todd? Is Todd here?
Take off your glasses.
Can't see that far with me. Todd, where do you want to go?
I can go at the end, that's fine.
Is that okay? Okay, we'll put Todd down under the golf course. Any other additions or corrections? If not, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Motion on the floor by Donnie.
I'll second it.
Second by Mike. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. The first item on the agenda this evening, we have a Pierz Oktoberfest request for funding. This is an annual one, but it sounds like instead of asking for $2,000, they are asking for $1,000 this year. And they are having no fireworks. There will be no fireworks this year.
Correct, I think I talked to Lorraine for a little, just for a while when she stopped in with this. The reasoning they're asking for 1,000 this year is because they asked for 3 last year.
Yeah, we gave them 3 last year.
Correct, so I think they wanna try and bring it back down, we did budget for 2 this year again.
Okay.
But right now, she's asking for 1,000.
Okay. And it also states in here that they did pick up some very generous donations, the way it sounds, from the Pierz Lions, Pierz Fire Relief Association, Commercial Club.
Good.
So, yeah, kinda nice to see everybody kicking in to make this city celebration go over. So we will need a motion to approve if we decide to do that.
I make a motion that we donate $1,000 to Oktoberfest.
Motion on the floor by Stephanie.
I'll second that.
Second by Mike. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. We have the Pierz American Legion Auxiliary. They are requesting the donation of our shelter down at the park. What was the date on that? July like 14th?
16th, it's a Thursday.
Yeah.
That's usually during the day and it's usually not an issue. I would make a motion that we donate the use of the Pierz Park shelters for the annual Veterans Picnic put on by the auxiliary.
Motion on the floor by Mike.
I'll second that.
And second by Stephanie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Scott, do you want to call down and just talk to Daniel to make sure there's no scheduling conflicts there?
Yes.
We have some training for our new deputy clerk. That is on our software, the Cubic training. Scott, you want to kind of just talk about that a little bit?
Sure. In order to use the Cubic software, we have to have trained, licensed users if we want any support. So if I'm unavailable, Carrie easily make a phone call for any issue that's going on with the software. She will be able to get help unless she's trained. The training is definitely a huge asset to us. Since I started with Anna and then I started with Nikki and I learned a lot more than what was being used.
Sure.
So by the training, I feel. So, and it upgrades every year and things like that. But we'd be looking at the 4-day, 3-hour sessions. I did call to get some scheduling. It'd be July 7th through the 10th, I want to say that is. In the mornings is the first availability for getting that training. So it'd be about a month. And that training is $990, $1,000 for the training coverage.
Is that the same as like you guys did last year, for 3 hours online, so?
It would be here in-house, online, and on the phone.
What are you gonna say?
Pause the training, or is it live?
It's live. It's a one-on-one training.
Okay.
Well, we gotta get her trained, so she knows what's going on with the software.
It is very, very useful. Very useful.
Yeah.
Sure will. Take care.
I would feel strong that we try and get her trained on that to make things easier.
So I would agree with her. Do we need a motion to send her there? I would imagine.
I make a motion, we go ahead and send Carrie, or have Carrie sign up for that cubic training.
There's a motion on the floor by Stephanie. Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Donnie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Did we want to move, boom, boom, boom? I guess not. It's in order. So, I guess, at this time, we have, to approve part-time, police officer, and that would be Josh Andrea. We need to do that by council vote.
By resolution.
No, the resolution's on a different subject.
You might need the resolutions for who we come under our.
Insurance, okay.
Yeah, all of our police officers have it, but first
Okay.
we need to motion that we would want.
Okay. I make a motion that we hire Josh Andrea as a part-time police officer.
There is a motion on the floor by Stephanie and a second by Mike.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
I gotta think about it. No. All right, Josh, aye. Motion carried. Congratulations, Josh.
Thanks.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
How do you feel about, taking the big oath?
I'll take it.
Come on
I
up.
would say we gotta swear.
You will, you do it right now.
I know, that's it. There we go.
Josh, if you could please raise your right hand.
You know which one I am.
That's a start.
Everybody,
No, we hired
okay,
a fella
hold
like
on,
shit.
you guys move over that way.
Yeah, go by the flag, so it
We're
looks
doing,
official.
you guys move that way, we're taking a picture.
Put your pants up.
I know, yeah, we like to make a move.
Josh, raise your right hand. I, Josh Andrea,
I, Josh Andrea,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota.
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota.
I will faithfully discharge my duties of police officer for the city of Pierz
I will faithfully discharge my duties of a police officer for the city of Pierz
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Welcome aboard, Josh.
Thank you so much.
Just a little word on our new police officer. I've had the opportunity and the pleasure to serve with Josh on the fire department. I know Donnie has, and Mike has, and Eric selected a number one kid. He will do an excellent job for us. So, we're fortunate to have him. We have a resolution. Eric, you wanna just, gonna talk about that resolution?
Reference to, it's a resolution, Toby, what it's for is, to perform hazardous work within the city. All of our current police staff carry this,
Okay,
and it's needed to be on file to be
Okay.
an active police officer.
I just couldn't remember doing it for the other guys, but now that, I'm looking at this, I guess I do remember. Guess we need a resolution approval 0528-2015-01.
I would make a motion to approve that resolution.
There is a motion on the floor from Mike to approve the resolution. Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Donnie. All those in favor, please signify by stating We have some liquor license approvals. Patrick's Bar and Grill, we have the on sale and off sale. Brickyard Bar and Grill, we have the on sale Sunday and off sale. That was a Sunday with Patrick's as well. Pierz Ballroom, we have the on sale 3-2 license. St. Joseph's Church, which will be a 1-day temporary on sale. We have the Legion Ballpark, which is an on sale. We have Bootlegger's Bar, that is on sale, Sunday liquor and off sale. Lloyd's Liquor, which is on sale. Oktoberfest, this I've taken is for the Lions, I believe. Scott?
Yes.
That's a 1-day temporary on sale. And the Pierz Golf Course, which is a 3-2 on sale Sunday. I believe you can, go ahead, Scott.
I have two corrections. On the Pierz Ballroom, they also opt for a Sunday as well.
Okay.
And that covers, does that cover Pierz Lanes too, or do they not do it?
Yeah.
The main, it's for the ballroom, for events at the ballroom is what it's for. But I'm assuming that it would cover their.
It covers the
facilities,
Pierz
correct?
Lanes too, yeah. I think they've always only done one anyway that I know of.
Yes, as far under Pierz Ballroom, yes. And then one other correction too, if you jump to.
That was the Sunday?
Yeah, so add Sunday to the 3-2 on sale. But I caught this rate as I sent these off, but St. Joseph's Church had dates of events, 8-2-15 and 6/27/15. I actually talked to the state and we separated these, so there's two separate ones. It doesn't change anything on the council packets or anything like that, but it's two separate forms.
Two
So-
separate days.
Correct. They're not within that 4-day period, so they have to be on two separate forms, two separate dates. The one question then that I came across was, it's $150 per 1-day event. Would that technically be $300 because it's two separate events from the church?
What two separate events?
They're having the 150th anniversary on June 27th, and then it's the bazaar on the beginning of August.
Yeah.
So we would
events,
charge
yeah.
$150 per event.
We have to because of not being in that 4-day period.
Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that up, but those are the two things I wanted to correct on there.
Okay.
So, the Brickyard also had a 2 AM license?
This is before the 2 AM.
No,
That's totally separate.
View that at different.
Okay, just so we make sure on that.
Yep. Those are the liquor license approvals with the addition from Sunday liquor and the 2-day for St. Joseph Church.
Make a motion to approve those liquor licenses for all those listed.
There's one question, is the Legion also a Sunday liquor, or don't they, or the ballpark, I should say, is that also a Sunday liquor, or does
Yes.
it need to be? Because
Yes.
it's not
That has
listed
to
on,
be.
because it's not listed on there. And I don't know if it's just not
Legion ballpark,
listed on here,
It's
but
but
it's,
it should be listed.
okay,
It's
I'm just
listed
making
there.
sure.
Is it on the actual?
That's what I'm asking.
I didn't change anything from last year on this one, so.
Good catch.
There's Sunday.
There's a
Yeah.
Sunday? Okay.
Yep.
So with the addition,
That's what I kinda thought, but.
with the additional Legion ballpark Sunday then?
I make a motion, we approve those liquor licenses,
Already
unless
been
there.
done. You can second.
Oh, I can second it, all right.
Motion was made by Mike and seconded by Stephanie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Let's bring up, Mr. Premisberger.
Yes, sir.
Konlinsky, Kapinski.
Yes, sir.
Please, pull up your chair.
Oh, I do?
Camera's gotta see that ugly face.
Need to hear more than just your voice on
All
it.
right.
You wanna turn around and look at it?
No.
Wear a mask on the back here.
I just talked with Gangles. I know you guys had sent them some stuff before. Just wondering if the city still has any interest in that property, and if so, maybe sitting down with the one son and myself and whoever from the city and see if we can work something out that way.
Well, I think yeah, Todd, and I think the first part of your question was one that needs to be answered first, and is that, is there any
as far as when I first looked at it, it was for it to help with the monument and moving it. And that was the only reason that I was looking at it, so as far as me go, but I'm only one.
Steph?
I guess I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other. I guess I don't know, or would it be something we're looking at to move the food shelf? Get rid of that food shelf building, move it over to the south there and make more availability for the fire department parking or whatever you need over there, or looking at moving the skating rink, or I don't know. I guess I don't know what
Yeah.
kind of things, the monument is set up and the cement is
Yeah.
done, so that's not, I don't see that park as being one like the one back here with swing sets and those types of things. So you gotta look at it more, is it going to be an asset to be using for something like bigger food shelf, more parking for the fire department, cause I don't know what you could add on, or.
Well, is there adequate parking, where did like right now for the food shelf and stuff, don't they park over there at the fire hall now, I think? So I mean, at some point it could become a issue for, if all of a sudden we get called out to a fire and there's people that are over there that are using the fire department parking lot for this food shelf too.
Well, one thing I guess I'd like to say about the food shelf, and I hate to jump to conclusions, but, or whatever, but we haven't really even heard from the board of directors over there, what they're looking for, what they want, if it's working now or whatever. I know there's been some employee talk, or volunteers, I should say.
Mhm.
But, I don't know, their actual situation. It's always been a little tight in there, that I know. I'm not sure of, the use. I mean, is it still, as far as I know, it's still open Monday evenings for a couple hours? Is that just kind of the?
Monday morning, Monday evening.
Monday evenings, I mean, does it justify moving for that couple hours a week we're open? I guess there's a lot of things that need to play into that.
What are Mike's thoughts?
Kinda like yours, not either way. I mean, if we have a specific use for it, I think we should pursue it, but, what specific use, we really don't have anything right now. That I know that comes to the
Well,
forefront.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the extra space would be nice, because I mean, there's a bunch of things we can use it for, in the future, but, yeah, I mean, I don't think we really ever sat down and tried to pinpoint an exact use. And I know what Donnie's saying, I guess I kind of threw it by the wayside when, after the monument went in. I mean, that's kind of the key for me to want to purchase that lot.
Mhm.
Well, that was part of if we could expand the fire hall.
Yeah, and the
We
monument
would've
could have been moved over.
moved the food shelf out of there, we'd have moved, right. Now that that's there, are we gonna tear down the monument per se and move it over? If we do
No.
that, if the fire hall needs to be added on. I mean, there's a
Fire
bunch of
hall
added
needs,
expenses.
we looked at that years ago. If the fire hall needs to be added on to, we'd have to go north. Building Park is already, in order to take property, that's designated as a park, there's a lot of steps to go through.
Yeah, and it may be, I guess we've never really, Mike, maybe you guys looked into it.
We looked into it, I know Lorraine, when Lorraine was clerk and I was mayor, we looked into,
Yeah.
there were some options going on at that time.
Yeah,
And Lorraine dug into it, and it's an act of God to take what is designated as a park and
yeah.
but
That said, it's
that's
nothing
years
I've
later
ever-
too, it might be changed, I don't know.
Yeah, something I guess I've never really faced and never really looked into. But I think, I think it's important that if we're gonna go out and we're gonna purchase it, that we have some type of
We have to have a
idea
need or
why we
something to
want-
do.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
that I would
designated
agree.
use for the
So,
property.
do you want to talk to the food shelf board and see what?
I think that'd be kinda nice, and get their opinion. I think another thing, and maybe we could do, Todd, is, in the meantime, is if there's enough interest amongst the council, I wouldn't mind even walking that's even feasible to use there or not, or, you know, how it's, I don't remember, I know I've been in the building a couple different times, but I guess never paid much attention to it, so, you know, we can do that in the meantime if the council wants to pursue or look into it further.
Yeah. Never hurts to look.
Well,
Thing is I look at it too, it's a 66, is that a 66 foot lot?
I
With,
believe so.
but,
you know, it's, we
It's
can
tight.
build on there.
yeah,
And,
I think in order to try and, I mean, if you were gonna try and get a business to take it, it would have to be something, you know, that the builder, the business owner, you know, could plan to put in there, you know, maybe a little longer than narrow if you still wanted the building and parking in there and stuff. It's probably got some, I'm sure it's probably got some type of, you know, use that you could put in there for a commercial building. What that is at this point in time, I guess I don't know it all the time, you know. But, I guess if the council wants to take a look at it closer, we could have the board actually come to our next council meeting, if you guys want, and you could take a few minutes with the board and discuss it. In the meantime, if you guys wanna take a
If
walk.
someone wants to, and maybe if the board shows any interest, or if they wanna go through with us, let's do that.
Yeah. You guys okay with, inviting the food shelf board to the next, council meeting? Okay. And if Todd, if you wanna get together in the meantime, yeah, I'd like to take a.
Yep, so just get over me and we'll go through it one night.
Okay.
All right?
Thanks, Todd. Yep. We have some department reports. Bobby Old, Otremba.
It's like a little sheet of paper.
Just an update on our vehicle, we were looking at purchasing a pickup for the public works. We missed the deadline for ordering that 2015. Factory shut off the orders after the approval, real close on the dates, but the other option was Brandon Motors was gonna look Midwest, see if they could locate a truck with that spec, and they found some, but not the same package, so you end up getting an upgraded package, which is more money and something we don't need. They are starting, they'll have pricing for the 2016s as of June 20th.
Did they give you any indication on what the prices might look like versus the 15s?
2 to 3% increase is what they told me, so the other one's right around 22,000, so 2% is $500.
Yeah. Wow.
No, and then they start building in the middle of July, so.
Okay.
We haven't been using the old truck, I guess, I mean, it's not the best situation, but we can get by if we have to. I don't know any other option right now, but other than getting a different vehicle with a different spec.
Talking, talking a year from now.
No, July 20th.
Okay, this
Or
July 20th.
June 20th.
June 20th.
They'd start coming out with pricing.
Okay, and they
And then-
probably wouldn't be available till.
July.
Middle of
July.
July.
You could actually get
a vehicle?
No.
Okay,
Is when they start
Okay.
building them in the middle of
Building.
July.
okay.
We could have one by August.
First September.
It'd be a 16 model,
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, it just would be more money and I think we can get by, yeah.
If we can get by till then, I think we should just go with that plan.
Yep.
Then I had a couple of bids I received on the railing outside City Hall, starting to rust pretty bad, and there's a company in Annandale that specializes in sandblasting. They do a lot of cities for hydrants, fire hydrants, streetlight poles. They've got the aerial lifts and all that, and I actually talked to Gruber Custom Painting too, and Gruber would just do a sandblast, or not a sandblast, but a grinding method. Not ideal from what Mick told me, and kind of the same pricing, I guess, is what I got from this B&L maintenance out of Annandale. So, and it was about the same price, so $750 to sandblast, and then epoxy.
They do it right here.
They do it right on site, they got
Were they gonna re-epoxy some of the holes or something, or put additional epoxy in
epoxy is the paint, I mean, that's the
Oh,
paint.
with an epoxy paint, okay.
Epoxy paint, a primer and paint,
Okay.
yeah. So that's including the main railing, and then the two smaller ones along the building that are attached.
I'd hate to see, I mean, right at the concrete line and stuff like that, I mean, I'd hate to see those, you know, start to rust through.
Right.
Yeah, just doesn't,
And the
doesn't hold up.
best way to do it is to sandblast it, get all that rust off and start it fresh.
God, here, that'd be a good job for Fred with a piece of sandpaper.
I mean, we can do it every year. It's every year.
Super fine grit.
I think the proper way to do it would be.
It is, let's get it cleaned up for now, yeah, and if we get a decent coat of paint on there, I think it'll, you know, if it's something you have to do every 5, 6 years or whatever we have to
Do
do.
they give any guarantee
No,
on?
there's no guarantees.
No.
He thought 10 to 12 years, that would be pretty realistic.
Well,
So, I mean, that's what
And a lot of times too, you get salt or salt water that sits around them or whatever, that just eats the crap out of it, so.
the stuff they put on for the finish is the same stuff they use underground for the gates on the power plants. I mean, they do a lot of industrial stuff, and this is top of the line stuff, so.
While you're doing that, Bob, have you talked to, like Chris or somebody about getting an estimate on that little slab at the bottom of the steps down there, the one that's raised?
I haven't gotten any, yeah, I haven't gotten any
Okay, or
estimates.
whoever you
yet,
get an
but,
estimate from, yeah.
But yeah, we'll have sidewalks to do around town, and my thought was to tie that into the
Okay.
same. But yeah, actually both ends of them
Yeah.
are getting, would be a trip hazard, so. And then I'd like to have them do some poles too in town, some streetlight poles that are kind of starting to show wear, starting to show rust. They charge $340, same situation, sandblast them and get them aerial lift and painted.
How many you looking at, you know?
I'd be looking at 4 of them. So a rough total would be, well, the total would be $2,110. And he kinda said they kinda want $2,000 worth of work to
Come on,
come
do it,
yeah.
yeah.
So if
Well,
it,
yeah, if you need the work done, I mean, yeah, let's take care of the stuff and that way, yeah, you know.
okay. And then the Lions Club, I had talked to them about the possibility of getting a different fountain on Village Park. And it sounds like they have some funds available to do that. So at their next meeting, they're gonna, Harold Meyer's looking at some stainless steel fountains, freestanding
It would
ones.
look nice there.
Would look a little more appropriate in front of that monument.
What are we gonna do with the, Lion's Head?
They're gonna talk about that too. It's possible we can refiberglass some spots and paint it. And it'd be an option to set it over here at this park.
Were we having a water line or service line problem over here at one time?
You know,
Is
that
why we
was-
pulled it out or something?
yeah, it was
when
when I started.
Jeff was, certain, I know we moved it, well, at that time, the Lions wanted it moved.
Oh,
The lines are over there, but, yeah, I think we had a leak or something, I don't know, we'd have to check into it, but.
I remember helping them. It's an underground, like a yard hydrant underneath the
Oh.
concrete.
okay,
And I remember we were trying to get it off and we couldn't. So we may have to dig it up and
yeah.
fix it.
Either that or is there a place down at the, I suppose there's really not a water line handy down there anywhere, but
Yeah.
Pierz Park, there might be, just, you know, that might be enough.
Well, I think we should let the Lions talk about it where they would wanna put it. I mean, it is theirs.
Yeah.
They wanted it, you know, the whole idea of that Lion Head was on Main Street was to promote that the Lions is here and alive in Pierz, you know. That's why they wanted it on the main drag. And to go back to a park, I'm not against that, but I think that the Lions should kind of tell us
Oh, yeah.
where they
I'm just
really
sure we're
want
all
to
ideas,
go with it,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, look into it, you know, see if the water line is
Yeah.
feasible, or if it works or whatever. If it's not, we're gonna have to, come up with a plan B, I suppose.
Yeah, they're gonna talk about it at their next meeting, so
That's good.
that's all I had.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Bob.
Chief?
Gives us all kinds of charts tonight.
Well, had some conversations with Donnie, and we always see these speed radar signs that we have posted, so Donnie gave me the great idea to throw some data off, so you guys are aware of what actually the speed radar signs are doing. So the sign in front of you, the information is from 3rd Avenue Northwest for a 7-day period. And to me, if you look at the vehicle travel, it's only counting one way, coming into Pierz. But if you look at the first page, I think our averages for speed, I think it's pretty unique, it's nothing really great, out of control. But like I talked to Toby earlier, it'd be fun to see what that sign would indicate if it wasn't blinking at people and they didn't know what's there, but it does change a lot. So it's just, Donnie mentioned it, so I thought I would get it you guys' way,
Really
so you
nice,
can
yeah.
look at it and go from there.
What's with, look at the percentage of people that are days that people are speeding. What's with Sundays, everybody in a hurry to get to church or what?
Get home.
Going home from church.
They only report them coming into church.
They're late coming into church. well,
Maybe that's it. I don't know, but it seems kind of a weird day and times to, you know.
Do we need to mention something about the resolution for that, the initiative funding I'm going after, Scott?
Yes.
Is that resolution handy? Or Eric, you wanna kinda just give the council a
It's
update
not-
on how that all works and what the deal is with that?
It came up after Scotty had the minutes out, it brought to attention yesterday that they required it from me. I'm the lead, I'm the head of this last funding for these five speed radar signs. They've come to me, they're asking for another funding round, so I have submitted another funding application on behalf of all of Region 5, which is all 5 counties. Morrison County, Todd County, Crow Wing, Cass, and Wadena. And I've asked for another $76,000 worth of signs. It's gonna give another 25, and what it's doing is gonna give each county 6 signs. So instead of me controlling all these signs throughout 5 counties, now I'll only have to worry about Morrison County and let the other ones go. And we just need something on paper that my council, you guys are standing behind me, and it's okay that I am the lead of this funding. City of Pierz isn't held financially, there's nothing over our head that we have to be accountable, it's just that I'm the lead of this funding, and I don't know, I like the sign in town, and it's just, we're benefiting from the program, so to me, it's a good thing.
If you wanna take on the responsibility of putting this together, and it helps out other communities within our county, or even, you know, if
Five
we can find
counties.
area, yeah, well worth it.
So from there, it just sounds like I just need either a copy of the minutes from
Yes.
tonight, or
Correct, and just to make things clear, this will actually reduce his responsibility into just this county.
Right.
So it'll make things more beneficial and give us more signs.
So do you have to, then would you have to appoint somebody in each other county to be a lead person there?
that's all done in the application. Chief Kling, Crow Wing, Pequot is on board to take over Crow Wing. The chief of Wadena is gonna take over Wadena, the chief of Walker is gonna take over Cass, and then a sergeant from Todd County is gonna take over Todd. They've all come to me. Actually, right now, they're the ones utilizing the signs except for the one. So it's a great thing for all of
Yeah, for
the 5
everybody.
counties, so.
For everybody.
And what I need for the application is just a motion in the minutes will justify as what we need.
Okay.
I'd make a motion that we, allow Chief Hanneken, under the city of Pierz, to continue going after this funding for these, speed signs for the 5 county region.
There's a motion on the floor by Mike,
I'll second that.
second by Stephanie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously.
Thanks. And then the information I have in front of you is the annual report for the last 2 months. And this one here, if we can see, it says incidents today is 307. Since I printed this off, I think the last date I counted for was the 26th. The total calls today are 319. And now if you look at what we did in 2012, we had a total of 343 calls for the year. And to me, that number is getting to be quite significant. And I know most of you know how I feel about what's going on here at the police department. I am very lucky to have the part-timers that I have accessible to me. But it's a Band-Aid for what I need for the city of Pierz, because they work the hours that they can around their full-time schedule. And it's gonna come to a stage here where I would like to see the council talk about it and see what we can plan for accordingly in a year or 2 years, whatever it's gonna be. But it's something that I wanna try and be a little more diligent about pushing and seeing what we can do as a council and for the citizen, for the taxpayers of Pierz. Because the calls, you can see the calls, I mean, 2012, 343 calls, and out of these calls for the last 2 months of 114, I have 11 incidents that are felony level crimes that have been investigated inside the city. And for somebody that has a lot of paperwork to be pushed on a daily basis, it's getting to be a little much. So I wanted a discussion, it's something that we can work towards the future and see what we can work on for this year, next year, whatever it might be. But it's very important though that I want everybody to know that they know what we have here. Jason Loscheider is my main part-timer. Josh Andrea's gonna come in, he's nothing but respected also, he's gonna do a great job. But when I need certain shifts filled, I can't do it. It's hard for me to, graduation coming up, prom, I feel I have to work them, I always do. But it'd be nice to be able to know what weekends can be covered or what nights can be covered to help the city of Pierz.
We've been kind of talking about this for about the last 6 months, 5-6 months, maybe even longer. Between Eric and Mike and I being on the police commission, and Scott as well. Sorry, Scott, didn't mean to leave you out of this. We were, kind of looking at, some different options. We started, and we want to start with the early budget process to find out, where we're sitting. If we can, just looking at the budget right now, I don't think we would have a problem putting on another full-time police officer. The thing that we really need to break down and look at as a council when we get into the budget cycle is, can we sustain it? So it looks like we can sustain it, because the last thing I wanna do is put on a full-time peace officer, full-time any employee, and only be able to look at funding that position for, hey, we know we can fund it for 2 years, and in 2 years' time, we have to lay somebody off or do some radical things to make sure that we can keep to fund our employees' wages and benefit packages, so it's gonna be important to look at that.
I guess on my end of the world, I think if you were to ask all of our people out here, and if we have to, and I don't wanna raise our levy or anybody else, but if you were to say it's gonna cost everybody $10 a year more to be able to have a full-time police officer, where it's right now, you're getting buried. If we have to do that, I don't wanna, but if we have to do it, I know without a doubt, you'd ask somebody walking down the street, that's no problem.
Yeah, and
I don't think we should be looking at bringing somebody on with the thought that 2 years from now, we have a tight budget, we let them go.
No,
I think
absolutely not.
we're proactive
Absolutely not.
and let's
No.
raise our levy then a little bit enough to cover a full-time officer. That's what we're budgeting for, let's budget,
I
let's go.
agree, looking back at all the years ago, the city did have a grant at one time for Cops Fast program. We can't apply for it again. We let that officer go. We had 2 full-timers for a while. And the idea of that grant was, I think it paid the first
4 or 5 years, and you agree to hopefully sustain the program.
Right, they helped you with the financial upfront, and then year by year it went down, where the city had to, and, all those years ago, I think the city dropped the ball, and, we should have had 2 officers for quite some time already, and you look at this stuff, and all the calls he's going to, and all the stuff that we have to take care of. Yeah, our safe little town of Pierz isn't always so safe anymore. When I sit with Eric and hear what's going on in town, it kinda scares me.
I think one of the big problems that we're having, just from when I look at things, our juvenile contacts, says it right here in the annual report, is fairly high, and I know a lot of that's, in the schools, being in the schools and things of that nature. But the other thing is, we have currently, what do we have now with Josh, 5 part-timers?
Yep.
We have 5 part-timers on with Josh. And, one thing we really need to look at, I know Eric really has a lot of respect and likes his part-timers, and I think we need these folks on because they're real important when Eric has special events and things of that nature. But with that said, we're carrying 5 part-timers, 4 outside of Josh that, we're getting hours from, Loscheider. I know Hastings gets a few hours in here and there, but I don't know if it's too much to ask those guys, hey, if you wanna be on our roster, you guys need to really come in and work some extra hours. Try and pull a load off you for now.
I agree on that one, but all the gentlemen that we have, they already all working full-time. Like Loscheider's working 80 hours a pay period at the county, up in the jail, and he's still averaging close to 30 to 40 hours.
Yeah,
a pay
and I'm
period.
not talking.
No,
Jason,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And Hasten steps up in the winter, cause that's when it's quiet for him with the gutter service on top of his full-time job. Doug is a big one that comes forward, that usually helps me with the prom, graduation, and
Yep.
Oktoberfest.
Special events,
It
yep.
does, so it's,
Yep.
I totally understand, and I know if that's where they wanna be in their life, is just a one full-time job and make it work a little bit on that side, I don't wanna force them that way, because what I get out of them already is just, I'm very lucky what I get out of them.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't disagree with you on that, but I mean, I guess if guys are gonna be on our roster full-time, I would like to see some of these guys working a few extra hours. Maybe they won't, maybe they can't, you know?
I agree, there's a couple that haven't worked hours in the last year, so it's something that I definitely can address and Toby, and I have no problem with that, it's great. But the other ones that I mentioned do step up and do help the city.
Oh, I know they do,
so-
I know they do, I know when you're using them and whatnot, and I understand that this isn't their bread and butter, their full-time job and benefits and things of that nature, you know, there's just a whole lot that goes along with, you know, being a part-timer, so.
I also don't think that, I mean, I know Eric pretty well, and I stop in here a lot, and I've seen over the last months the stress load on him, and I'm all for it. I think that we need to look at the budget, we need to do what we need to do, and I would like to see that we, in January, the start of next year, we put on a full-time officer. And that's my feeling, and, you know, I'm only one on the council, and I know we need to look at it financially.
Yeah.
But that's where I would be. I would like to work towards that goal.
See,
Well,
that's-
and we have any, like I said, when I looked at the budget, it's not a problem right now. I just don't wanna run into a point in time, like I said earlier, either having to lay somebody off, or our employee load, wages and salaries get so heavy that we can't give our employees 4% raises, or we can't give them 3% raises. We're gonna be saying, hey, all we can afford is 1%, or all we can afford is 2% every year for the next company. I think it's important that we don't overstaff, so we can treat our employees good too, you know,
See,
I guess that's the easy way.
The reason I brought it up is I just want this council to look at it, especially when we come up with the budget.
We've got kind of a plan
Yeah.
too, Eric. I mean, we've talked about a couple different ways we can go about helping to sustain this, and we'll be approaching the council on a little different matter. You know, Mike and Eric and I have talked about it, Scott's talked about it. So, might be an additional funding source to help pay for some of this too, so that.
I think Steph had a.
I had a comment that, you know.
No, go ahead,
I
Steph.
just look at, I believe that we have set up in the past that we want 70 hours a week of police coverage. You look at this, we're putting in way more than 70 hours a week of police coverage. Put that aside, 70 hours a week times 52 weeks is 3,640 hours. A normal full-time person, you and me, working 80 hours every 2 weeks. Only, that's 2,080 hours, we're putting in 3,640 with 70 hours a week, so we're already over 1,500 hours. How much different is that to get to 2,080 to make 2 full-time positions? You know, we're not that far off of it, we're probably putting in that many hours. If you look at all these calls, we're probably putting in that
Well, it's
over
not just a
4,000 hours.
straight just wages either, you have to think about the benefit package.
I understand that, I get that.
Like I said, my goal was just to start the discussion and
No, absolutely, I mean,
do it
it's,
in the future months.
we've been looking at this and looking at it for at least the last 6 months. We got some ideas on the horizon that will help, hopefully help kick into fund this, that will be approaching the city council. Yeah, hopefully we can get it done. We will get it done.
Perfect, that's all I got.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Eric.
Good job, Eric.
Oh, sorry, guys. Dan's not here. Scotty, what do you got on the admin?
I got a couple things here. We spoke last time at the special meeting about Morgan Toshik. She's going back to college in August, so I guess I was not aware of that until I could speak with her again, so that probably wouldn't be the best solution. I'll be sitting doing this again in 3 months. with that being said, I can reopen it up for the cleaning service portion of City Hall and the library. What are our thoughts on that? I don't,
I think
depending
we're
how
gonna
much
stuck
time trying to
between
chase on a cleaning service thing.
How much-
I think we're stuck
important
between
is
a
it?
rock and a hard place.
How important is it to have the golf course piece?
I think between Dan and I, we worked it out, I don't think it's that important.
So do you have somebody that's willing to clean City Hall and the library in the hours we need it, in the wage we're willing to pay them? I know you guys keep throwing
There's-
out JD and,
Yes, JD and Lynn would do it, these two locations, and then, Toby and I were sitting here and Jennifer Cornish, her name is, did stop in. And say that she would do the two locations as well, so,
JD and Lynn wouldn't bring it for the wage.
they would do it at 15, my thought is they probably get it done sooner,